Another consideration I want to highlight around trading comps is the idea of fully diluted shares. Now, one thing we need to do is we need to ensure that our calculation for market cap is based on fully diluted shares outstanding, as opposed to basic shares, which we know are just on page 1 of any 10K. Otherwise, if we don't account for fully diluted shares, our market cap is technically understated, and I'll get into why very shortly. So the very basic calculation behind fully diluted shares outstanding is just to take your basic shares outstanding from page 1, the 10K, and then add shares from any dilutive securities. And in particular, what's really shares from dilutive securities that would be in the money. Now, the way to find this information around dilutive securities is that it's always included in a company's most recent 10K. So sometimes it will even be in a 10Q, but at a minimum, you should be able to find all of the necessary data for this in a 10K, since this is a necessary disclosure. And the way you can do this is, I know it's very tedious to read through an entire 10K, so we know there's a lot of shortcuts around using Control F. So I would Control F for keywords like exercisable, options outstanding, granted, and there's a lot of different variants of these words that you can start to kind of Control F for and see what you can dig up using that method. And then what the trading comps analysis does is it makes adjustments to the basic share count by adding diluted securities. And this can come in the form of options, warrants, convertible debt. There's many different types of dilutive securities out there. But what's key here is that these dilutive securities have to currently be in the money. And to provide you guys a definition around in the money, what this means is that the strike price of the security is currently below the current price per share. And so that's the reason why we want to use fully diluted shares outstanding rather than basic shares outstanding, is because technically shareholders can exercise these shares at the current share price. And if there was some sort of an M&A event or something like that, they certainly would. So we want to get a picture of what the actual full share count is, assuming shareholders were to exercise their shares if they're in the money. So that is the logic behind this, and we'll start getting into some practice around fully diluted shares in the following lessons.